Hello boaters, welcome to Narrowboat Journeys. My name is Phil and I've lived aboard my narrowboat on the Canal system for over 30 years. I share my home with my two cats, Bushka and Midge, and we spend our days travelling around the Canal system and making videos. In this video I'm on the Oxford Canal and heading southwards, just entering Heyford Common Lock, and I'll be travelling through Upper Heyford and then down as far as the Lower Heyford Water Point. And then we'll carry on this video in another video. The audio for this particular video is recorded through a surround sound microphone which I've got on the roof of the cratch as I'm going along. It picks up the sound in a nice 360 degree sort of pattern. If you listen through headphones you should hear things quite nicely. Sometimes when doing locks on your own it's just much easier to pull the boat along by the rope. Right, now that's that lock done. Now I've looked on the list of stoppages and closures on the internet and I know that there's some dredging going on just up ahead from here. So there may be a delay. We'll have to find out as we get there. And there's the digger. Well, it looks like they're going to let me past, and there's another boat coming as well. side around the corner. And here we have more dredging going on. Looks like they're going to let me through as well. It's a nice enough area around here. That's between sort of Upper and Lower Heyford, but it's got an absolutely terrible internet signal. In fact, you can't even get the network here. Of all the places I've travelled on the Canal system, this is by far the worst for internet signal. If you go left across the bridge and then walk up the hill through the tiny village, there's a pub there. There's no shops, but if you carry on and walk on up to where the old American Air Force base was, that's all being turned into like a residential area now, and there's a Sainsbury's local there. So there's a few little other shops around. There's a chemist, I believe. Not much, but there's there's nothing else to choose from around here. It's very isolated. The nearest proper town is Bicester, but you'd have to really get a bus from there. So this is Allen's Lock. Not a very deep lock. Quite an easy one to do. That bridge, though, on the other side of it there is quite low, so you need to be careful. paddles are new. And they're quite fierce. Just need to open one. Over on the left, close to the church, is a very old tithe barn. This used to be a good little mooring spot. It's too narrow now, they've let the reeds grow right out across the canal. And here's another nice little mooring spot just before we get to Lower Heyford. Hopefully one day the internet signal will improve and make this a viable place for me once more.
Busy up there, yeah. Quite a while, I think. needs it.
Just around the corner there's a big aluminium lift bridge that used to be manually operated, but now it's been upgraded to electric, so you will need your British Waterways or CRT key to operate it, but it's just a matter of pressing the button these days. Much easier. This is an early morning cruise and I'm heading for the water point at Lower Heyford. I've got another boat here behind me now, so I'm going to have to let them go through the bridge. Hopefully they're not going to the water point as well, because they'll be ahead of me and I'll lose my place in the queue, so to speak. However, it'd be the height of rudeness not to let them through. Now I've got the bridge up, I've got to stop and lower it and then retrieve my key. But what a nice boater. He stopped and waited for me to go in front again. There's some very decent people on the canals, but they're not all like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's still a queue there. There usually is. There always is. Just got to wait for you.
That boat on the left there has been there as long as I can remember. I believe it's called the Ragdoll. And here we are at the boatyard at Lower Heyford, and the railway station is immediately beside it there to the right. It's often very congested here. We've got a winding hole to the left. This place was once featured in an old episode of Wurzel Gummidge. It was in Series 3, it was called Captain Wurzel, and they filmed it here at the boatyard. The rubbish disposal bins are up on top of the bridge there, and the water point is immediately on the other side. My trip didn't end here, of course, because you can't moor up on a water point, but I stopped here for water. This video has gone on long enough, so we'll continue the rest of the trip in the next video. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. Unfortunately, there won't be any cats this time. We'll have them at the end of when I stop properly at the end of the next video. So until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.